What is up, everybody? My name is Dr. Dale, and this is PreMed Mondays, episode number 5 in season 1 already. We've already done 5 episodes. We do 1 per week, so that means we're 5 weeks into season 1. If you haven't seen episode number 1, 2, 3, and 4, go back and check them out. They're really good stuff, things that are designed to help you be successful even outside of the medical field, but just how to give you a good understanding of success in general, okay? So episode number 1 was vision. Episode number 2, we talked about a why for your vision. Episode number 3, we talked about the importance of you deciding to be successful. Episode number 4, we focused on investing in yourself. And today we're going to talk about the myth of time management. You can't manage time, but what you can manage are your tasks. Check it out. All right, let's get into this. So, thinking back to when I began college, and throughout my college years, throughout my medical school years, residency, everything, anytime you have some sort of event where people are giving you some counsel, some wisdom, as you're trying to teach you how to be successful, time management always comes up, right? Think about any sort of event you had where people are trying to teach you how to be successful, and more than likely time management was part of that curriculum somewhere. Well, time management is somewhat of a myth. I understand the concept, and I understand what they teach and what we teach, because I will tell this to people sometimes too, but I want to make something kind of clear, right? You can't manage time. Only God can manage time. Time comes, time goes, regardless of if you want it to come or go. So you can't manage time. You can manage your children. You can manage your study habits. You can manage a basketball team or a sports team, right? But you cannot manage time. Time comes and time goes. And I think the reason that's so important is because when people talk about time management, what they'll tell you to do is they'll say, set 2 hours in your day for this, 1 hour in your day for this, 15 minutes in your day for this, another hour in your day for this, and then at 9 p.m. you want to do this. That's all fine and great. So you can have a great schedule throughout your day, and that keeps you on track, keeps you on pace. And I think that's good for the average things in life. But if you're on a path where you want to be highly successful and take things to the next level, you can't just focus on that basic time management thing. You can't rely on that, I should say. What you have to do is, instead of saying time management, it's task management, right? You have tasks that you have to manage. You can manage your task, but you cannot really manage time. Time is coming and going regardless of your opinion or what you command it to do, right? But your task, you can control those tasks, right? So really what you want to do is figure out how to put your task within the time and manage your task. And it's really simple. Not simple to do, but it's a really simple concept, and people will teach this all the time. This is one of my favorite ways to view task management. You have tasks. Think about it as a box, right? As a box with 4 boxes inside that box, so grid. In the top, so if you're looking at me, right, so it'll be over here. So in the top left corner of your box, you're going to have your things that are important to do, important tasks, and they're urgent tasks. In the other box on that same level, you're going to have the things that are important but not urgent. Down here in the bottom left, you're going to have the things that are your unimportant but urgent. And then in the bottom left corner, you're going to have the things that are not important and not urgent. Out of those 4 boxes, which one of those boxes do you think it doesn't matter if those tasks ever get done? This box, right? The bottom right corner. It's hard for me to think because I'm thinking about it the way you're looking at me. So the bottom right corner, right? So these things, you're not important, not urgent tasks. If those things never get done, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't really matter because they're not important, they're not urgent. So it doesn't really matter. The things that you need to focus on are mostly, obviously, the beginning are going to be your important urgents, right? So don't say I need to manage my time for this. What you need to do is you need to manage these tasks, because you have tasks here which are important and which are urgent, and you need to figure out somewhere with that time to make them happen, right? So you can't budget 2 hours for this, 3 hours for this. You need to make sure you get the task done one way or another. And these things are the key things. These are the things that are going to keep you going on a day-to-day basis, your important urgents, right? And then your not important, which is actually down here, I should say, your not important, urgent versus your important, not urgent. That's where it gets difficult. This way you have to use some discretion, right? So the things you're important, urgent, you're doing. You're not important, not urgent. Who cares? Might never do those ever. But these other 2 boxes are where you have to use your discretion and say, okay, how do I do this? if you have something that is not important but urgent, the fact that it's urgent means that it's important to somebody. Okay? It means that it's important to somebody. And the fact that you identify it as being urgent means that you realize it's important to somebody. So in some sense, that category is kind of a fallacy. In some sense, that category is kind of like a somewhat important and urgent. Okay? So the way I function is I function by doing my important urgents first, because important is important to me and is urgent to me and other people. So I do those first. And I focus on the task itself. I don't focus on the time, right? You want to be efficient at handling your time, but you have to focus on the task. And then I move on to doing my quote unquote not important urgent. I say quote not important because it's important to somebody. That's why it's urgent. Okay. And then you do those next. And then after that, then I move back up into the other corner of my box where I'm working on my important not urgents. Because if it's important and not urgent, that means it's probably important to me, but it's not urgent enough that it's going to affect other people's lives. Okay. And the not important, not urgent, who cares if those never get done? But the key point here is you have tasks within each one of these boxes in this grid. And you have to be able to put your various tasks that you have into one of these boxes in your grid. And you have to be able to manage those tasks. Don't focus on managing your time. Managing your time is fine. Have a generalized schedule to the way you're going to do things. But don't let your task be limited by time if they're important and urgent, right? Don't let your task be limited by the time. You have to find ways to get those done. And this is what highly successful people do. Highly successful people will pay more attention to the task at hand than the time at hand. And it might be that a task is taking too long, and then you know what? It might just turn out to say, well, you know, that task is really taking so long that it's affected our other tasks that it can't be as important anymore, and you can move it to a different box. And it's perfectly fine to do that. Perfectly fine to do that. But the key point here that I want you guys to realize is you have to learn how to do task management and not time management. And that's what really kind of separates, and I don't want to say this wrong. I don't want it to come off wrong, but this is from, you know, what I've seen, a lot of things I've read. In general, after a while, what you start to realize is that's what kind of separates the people who are thinking within the box, who are being managed and told what to do, from the people who can step outside of the box and really make big change and make big strides, is they learn how to do task management better than just time management. All right. So I want you guys to understand task management. I want you to learn how to do task management, because that's going to take you to a whole nother level if you can figure that out. Okay. PreMed Mondays. Manage your tasks. Task management, not time management. Okay. Task management. Thanks for watching. Please, please, please subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends. Share the videos. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post them. We always look forward to reading those. And thank you guys for watching. We love you. We will see you next week on PreMed Mondays. All right. Have a good week.